Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea. I'm Connor, your host, and this afternoon we are going to be talking about game design with Rowan Kosh and Patrick Gage. We're also going to be seeing a solo flute performance by Chelsea. If I'm out on the street, Calum can't change his mind about indie games, and testing our video game knowledge. So for our first guest, please give a warm welcome to Rowan Kosh. So Rowan, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well today, thank you, Connor.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, I'm a current game student, graduated film and philosophy student, very much in the sort of field of characters and storytelling. Just enjoyed entertainment industry, really. So, happy to be here today to talk about some games design.
Well, first of all, what are your thoughts on tea?
Thoughts on tea?
Yeah.
I'm not too much of a tea fan. I think it's too watered down. I like my full strength flavors.
Okay, so
tea just doesn't.
You don't really have a favorite brand or anything? That makes things very interesting. So what do you do outside of game design?
Outside of games design, I play games during that.
Interesting.
Like, not just video games, a lot of board games, tabletop RPGs, like big things. I watch a lot of television as well. Tends to be like cartoon, animation, or anime-like focused, and just hanging out with mates. For some drinks, karaoke, things like that.
And so how comes you're passionate about games?
So, God, I've been passionate about games for as long as I can really remember. The first, took a bit longer for us to get a console. I remember getting the Super Nintendo. Was the first console we ever had in the household. And we were limited to like an hour a day, but we used as much as we could of that time to play original Mario Bros. And things like that.
Would you say Mario Bros is your favorite game, or do you have a different one?
Probably back then, but since then, played a lot more games. Got a few different favorites. For talking video games, probably my favorite and what got me into games design would be Hollow Knight. Just seeing what those indie developers could do with such a small team, such a great game, really inspired me to come out and do games design. If we're talking outside of video games, things like Dungeons and Dragons, the ability to work upon. I started making rules for that way before I thought about being a games designer, and that also contributed.
Nice. And what game are you most proud to have finished?
Most proud to have finished? I mean, if we can call any of our games like properly finished, probably Bad Buccaneers was our trimester 2 game. So probably second game we ever really made, second video game I ever made.
Nice.
Just real fun, pirate-themed bunch of mini-games.
Awesome. And have you ever rage quit a game before?
Yes, I've definitely rage quit a game. Not like permanently sort of rage quit. They're very addictive. You come back, but 100%. I mean, like a time where it's like.
Is there any moment that you can kind of think of, like as far as rage quits go, that like stand out to you?
As far as rage quits, I guess like recently, Clash Royale, the phone game, playing a fair bit of that. And honestly, like sometimes where something gets misplaced, small bug, or just terrible matchup, you just go, no, wait for it to go off. Just check Facebook in the meantime.
And
Quite often.
Do you have a favourite games designer?
Favorite games designer? Not really. I don't tend to follow like the makers of games or celebrities or anything. When I did film, I wasn't too big a fan of like following directors. For me, what's more important is the work itself.
Awesome. And what inspires you to create games?
What inspires me to create games is the ability for everyone to... For me, games, I tend to like the more multiplayer, playing together type games. It's a great just way to meet new people without the stress of like small talk or other things. And just having those fun experiences which people can talk about.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your input, Rowan. And thanks for sharing your stories with us. So now we're going to go to a solo flute performance by Chelsea Davis. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Incredible. Beautiful performance by Chelsea Davis. Now please put your hands together for our second guest, Patrick Gage.
Hello there.
Hey Patrick, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad myself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Patrick. I'm currently a games design student. I've done a few courses before doing this. I studied law for a while.
Nice.
And I'm an all-round massive nerd.
Awesome. Are you much of a tea drinker?
No, not really.
Fair enough. So what do you do outside of games design?
As I said, I'm a massive nerd. I read a lot of comics and manga and watch a lot of anime and play a lot of games and stuff like that.
And so how comes you're passionate about games?
I'm passionate about games because, it's been something that's just been part of my life, for all of my life,
Awesome.
When I was very young, my older brother got the Nintendo 64, so I've had that in my family since, I was maybe 1, and just been playing that all throughout my life, and then just kept playing it.
And what would you say your favorite game is?
I'd say that this is one of those hard questions because depending on the day, that's going to change. But I'd say probably have to be Earthbound because that is a game that I really enjoy. Just it's a quality game, It's what inspired games like Undertale and Amori and a bunch of other games. But also just for me, it kind of represents the part of my life where I stopped kind of just, playing games casually and, and whatever. But it was one of the games that I started playing that kind of sparked my interest in going back and playing retro games and collecting and just being hardcore into gaming.
Awesome. And would you say that's kind of how you got into game design, was playing that game and then deciding I'm going to explore this a little bit more? Or?
Yeah, it was kind of going, what is it about these games that I really like, and what are these games? Why don't I like these other games?
Yeah.
I kind of went, let me explore this and kind of find out how these things work.
Awesome. And tell me about some of the games you've made and how its development went.
I've made a few games. One that I was really proud of that went very smoothly was Rush World. I was a level designer for it, and it went swimmingly, and that was a glorious time. However, the game I worked on afterwards, which was Burden of Bravery, which was a horror VR game that we showed off here. And that, at the end, it was a very, very good game, and I'm very, very proud of the work I did. But I can tell you, I was pulling my hair out all the way through. I don't want to, throw anyone under the bus, don't want to name names, but I will say that, we had to rely very heavily on getting people from other groups and other projects to help us do work that should have been done by someone else.
But it was worth it in the end?
But it was worth it in the end, and I'm really proud of what I made.
And what sort of games do you want to make in the future?
The games I want to make in the future are the type of games that I really enjoy, which are games that are all about challenge and overcoming great difficulty, and really the type of game where you're this can only exist as a game.
Yep.
If this was turned into a movie, if this was turned into a book, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of games I want to make.
And where would you say your inspiration comes from?
Inspiration for the type of games I want to make?
Yeah.
It comes a lot from a lot of Japanese game developers, because those guys kind of got their start in the arcade days, which is the kind of gameplay that I really like. So I'd say it comes from a lot of that. It's a lot of Capcom, a lot of Platinum game stuff. So that's kind of where I get my inspiration from.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick, for talking with me. We're going to take a small ad break, and then we'll be seeing our man on the street, Calum, as he asks some questions around the SAE campus. After the break, we'll be playing a game with our two guests, and we'll see you soon.
Where to start? So it's a storefront and a more community-driven club atmosphere out the back. It gives us an opportunity to cater, I guess, to so many different aspects of what we sell and what we're passionate about, whether that be large-scale tournaments and events, or the painting aspect of the miniature hobbies, card games, the social aspect of role-playing, the collecting aspect of kind of all three of them. The possibilities, I guess, are endless. We are the largest gaming store in all of WA in terms of the amount of space that we have. We can facilitate essentially probably what would be a 100-player tabletop event. That would be at a maximum capacity, but I don't know of another place with a shop front attached to it in realistically Australia and New Zealand that can help facilitate the same thing. When it comes to having a gaming hall, having the space to flaunt it is definitely one of the best things about it. So we've started posting up some events that really break the norm from what would normally exist. We've got our 40k Blunder Dome coming up soon, which is completely different to anything that's been run in the state so far. Obviously a little bit experimental in that regard as well, but we want to as an event in it. Really, the sky's the limit, I guess. So the goal, either through what we have already done and or what we will be doing, is painting competitions, painting workshops, whether you be completely new or completely established, large-scale competitive tournaments, more social events, just the ability to rock up with a friend, like people are about to right now, and just play a game on an afternoon without having to set your stuff up at home. Being surrounded by other, hopefully like-minded individuals that are all involved in similar things that interest you or other hobbies. Just a space where you can go, cool, I am proud to do Warhammer or Magic the Gathering, Dungeons & Dragons, Star Wars Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol, whatever hobby, game, miniatures, cards, role-playing experience you can think of, and go, cool, I can take part of that here, and that is a home for it. Being able to actually cater to a much wider community, genuinely have people just kind of thrilled to be here and partake in events, and actually making their hobbies better for them and then being able to have a place to facilitate their hobbies. There is very little that I find more satisfying than people coming to me at the end of a tournament or at the end of just having a fun day in the store and saying that, like, thank you for running this was really awesome. Like, that never gets old, and I don't think it ever will. Just reach out. The biggest one that we're trying to do at the moment is really, again, cater for as many different people out there in as many different communities as we can. If you want to see your game of choice have a place in the store, get into contact with us as soon as you can. I'm more than happy to try and facilitate it, whether that be a tournament of its own, just a dedicated game night, or just being able to come down and foster kind of your own community here. We're more than happy to be the place for that to happen and flourish.
Hi, I'm Calum, and I think indie games aren't as good as you think they are. Changed my mind.
There's a few good ones out there like Cuphead and, unfortunately, my personal favourite, Untitled Goose Game, where you just honk the living heck out of your goose to annoy a lot of people. So, even though they have a small budget, it just depends on what's in the game to make it the way that it is. Like, if it's gonna get some sort of attention, it's gonna get a good attention more so than a bad attention. Okay. I don't know if Undertale was bad attention, but we're just gonna put that to the side.
The Pope has a copy of it, I know that much.
Did you say the Pope?
The Pope, yes. He has a copy of Undertale. I wish I was joking.
I don't really know much about games. I play Sims, so that says a lot about me.
And Sims, being from EA Games, another multinational AAA company, they make that experience that you keep coming back to because they have the money to make you want it.
Is the Stanley Parable?
Yeah, I mean, that's an indie game. Yes.
So that gives you so many different options. So that's a game you can keep playing for hours on end.
True, but in the end, choice is an illusion. And it kind of fools you to think that you have options where in the end, you're always going to kind of get to one of 3 different endings, I think. So is it really that good, like that open as you think it is?
Don't be AAA studios now do a lot of microtransactions, and
Well, they've got to make money as well.
But-
In the end, it's all about money.
that's true. But like at the same time, players want to play like complete games first. It's like you don't want to play how many, like $99 for a game that's not even finished upon launch. Like, look at Battlefield 2042. That was expensive, and now it's going to be free.
Wow, really? Wow.
So the reason you don't like indie games is because it's too much like morals and story. In
There's
them.
just not enough effort into it.
Not enough effort.
No, you can't. It reflects in their work all the time. You can't. Why should I explore space when I can blow it up? And that blowing up is so much more computing power, much more money, effort, skill, and artistic value has gone into that than simply figuring out why the sun's going to explode in Outer Wilds.
I think you are the reason so many people say that video games can't be art.
I don't think they are.
Welcome back. We've got Rowan and Patrick here, and we are going to be playing a little game called Gamer Time. What we'll be asking our guests some trivia questions. Every question you get right, you will earn a point. But every 3 questions you get wrong, you will have to take a shot of one of our lovely energy drinks here. The person with the most points, so that with all that said, let's get on to our first question. So it'll be alternating. So I'll go with you first, Rowan. What is the colour of Sonic the Hedgehog? A, red, B, blue, or C, yellow?
B for blue.
Wow, that was a difficult one, hey?
Yeah. Starting off real hard.
A little embarrassing if you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what is Mario and Luigi's last name? A, Mario, B, Johnson, or C, Russo?
A, Mario.
Awesome. Once again, spot on.
I've seen the movie.
Question number 3. Name 3 water type Pokemon.
Squirtle, War Turtle, Blastoise.
Fair enough. Playing the game. And who is Megamind's arch nemesis? Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Code, or Dr. Willy?
Megamind.
Mega Man, sorry.
Let's see, Dr. Wily.
Awesome. Which Castlevania game is the Netflix adaptation based on? A, Castlevania 3, B, Castlevania 1, or C, Castlevania Symphony of the Night?
I think it's A, I'm not sure.
And you thought wrong. It is C, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
I knew it wasn't 1.
What year was Master Chief born? A, 2532. That's a weird way to say that. B, 2511. Or C, 2544.
Don't know much about Halo lore.
1 and 3.
Take a stab.
I'm just going to say A.
And once again, we are wrong. It is B, 2511.
Ah.
What is the highest selling gaming console today? A, the PS2, B, the Super Nintendo, or C, the Xbox 360?
Sorry, what was A?
The PS2.
I believe it's A. The PS2.
And you are right. What was the best-selling video game on the Wii? A, Mario Kart, B, Wii Sports, or C, Super Smash Bros. Brawl?
B, Wii Sports.
Correct.
It was bundled with the console, so of course it's going to be the best selling.
Yeah, exactly. I believe it might be the best of all time. But we'll find out later, I guess. What was the first commercially successful video game? A, Pong, B, Super Mario Bros., or C, Donkey Kong?
Ooh. Game first, Pong or Donkey Kong? I'm going to go with Pong.
And you are correct.
Yes.
What was the first Super Nintendo entertainment... Sorry, what year was the Super Nintendo Entertainment System released? That's the SNES. A, 1990, B, 91, or C, 93?
B, 1991.
Correct. That's impressive. In the original arcade version of Donkey Kong, what was the name of the character to be later known as Mario? A, Hammerman, B, Mario Man, or C, Jumpman?
I don't know. I'm going to say B, Mario Man.
It is
from
unfortunately C,
Jumpman.
Jumpman.
Damn.
What was the first mobile phone game? A, Snake, B, Tetris, or C, Solitaire?
I know my phone had Snake on it, so I'm going to say A, Snake.
Unfortunately, it's B, Tetris. Not quite Clash of Clans.
Ah.
What
That
is
was
the...
second, right?
Yeah. What was the name of Link's horse in Ocarina of Time? A. Enola, B. Epona, or C. Exodia?
Oh, Exodia. No. God, I've not played any Zelda games, really. B.
And good guess, it is B. Epona. Which Nintendo property is the highest grossing media franchise of all time? A. Pokemon, B. Super Mario, or C. The Legend of Zelda?
Hey, Pokemon.
Correct. What was the last console to use cartridges prior to the Nintendo Switch? A. Super Nintendo, B. Sega Genesis, or C. Nintendo 64?
Is it Nintendo 64?
Correct. It's number C. Number C? Awesome.
That's the one.
Which Halo game in the series takes place between Halo 2 and Halo 3? A. Halo Reach, B. Halo ODST, and C. Halo Wars.
A. Halo Reach.
Unfortunately, it's ODST.
And it was one of those two.
In which year did Microsoft launch Xbox Live? A. 2004, B. 2001, or C. 2002?
Sorry, what was the question?
Patrick, you've got to take a shot, by the way.
All right, let's see how this goes.
So, in which year did Microsoft launch Xbox Live? A. 2004, B. 2001, or C. 2002?
I'm going to go with C, 2002.
Correct. Solid Snake is the protagonist in which series? A. Metal Gear, B. Castlevania, or C. Splinter Cell?
Hey, Metal Gear.
Correct. In Pac-Man, what's the name of the orange ghost? A. Clyde, B. Inky, or C. Orange Ghost?
I think they do have names. I'm going to go with A, Clyde, because that sounds funniest to me.
Correct. Who is the king in the game Kingdom Hearts? A. Donald Duck, B. Bart Simpson, or C. Mickey Mouse?
C, Mickey Mouse.
Correct. Name 3 rock-type Pokemon.
Here we go again. Do I do the same? Geodude, Graveler, Golem.
Awesome. What is the best-selling game of all time? A. Grand Theft Auto 5, B. Minecraft, or C. Wii Sports?
Best selling. I'm going to say A, Grand Theft Auto 5, because I know it's the most profitable. I don't know if...
B. Minecraft.
Ah.
We got the answer to our question from earlier. What company developed the survival game The Last of Us? A. Naughty Dog, B. Ubisoft, or C. Microsoft?
Oh, I don't know much about Last of Us. Is it Ubisoft?
It is Naughty Dog, unfortunately.
That's right, damn.
What is the first character you play as? Is in Injustice 2, A. Superman, B. Batman, or C. Green Lantern?
In Injustice 2.
Injustice 2.
Read them out again.
A. Superman, B. Batman, or C. Green Lantern?
I'm going to say B, Batman.
Correct. And that is our final question for the day. And congratulations to our winner, Rowan. Good job, man.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel good. Not as buzzed as Gagey. Energy drink.
Do you feel like you're going to be getting the big bucks on that one?
I feel like I probably underperformed a little bit, but I'm just happy to beat Gagey, really.
I mean, you got a little bit unlucky though, getting two Halo questions. You said, I'm not a big fan of Halo, and then got 2 of them. That's a bit
and it's just like, all the questions he got wrong. I'm like, I know the answers to them. So it's like, if you just gave me his questions, I would have done a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that seems a little bit unfair. Like, if you don't get like the right question lineup, then you might have won it, but I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, how do you guys feel about games overall? You feeling good? You happy to go back into the industry and make some new games, and you got all this new knowledge about, I guess, Halo.
With all this quiz knowledge, it's definitely going to help us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, knowing about Halo, that's going to shoot me beyond the stars, man.
Well, that's all the time that we have here at Afternoon Tea. Thank you so much and a big thank you to our 2 guests, Rowan and Patrick. That's all from us. Good night.